Good morning. Welcome to the straight setup right here on BQ Prime. It's probably not the strongest of days for the equity markets, considering what the US 10-year yield has done. Let's take stock of the global roundup first and the energy news. So first, US stocks dropped to the lowest since July on fears that Fed will stay hawkish, and there was reason for that because the economic data emanating from the US was strong, as a result of which both the treasury yields and the dollar index surged. In fact, gold is now back in danger zone precisely because of that reason, that US dollar and the treasury yields have surged. We'll get to the yields in a moment. Chile stuns with a bigger than expected rate hike of 100 basis points. Remember this week, Chile, Australian Central Bank, the ECB, and Bank of Canada, all of them come out with rate decisions. Is it ECB? I'm not quite sure about the ECB, but we mentioned about this on Monday. I know Australia, Chile, Canada are amongst the ones large central banks which come out. In total, 9 central banks come out with rate decisions this week. So expect there to be a hawkish undertone to central banking action this week for sure. So, but Chile is kind of been on the front foot, right? 100 basis points rate hike. And aside of that, let's just bring that plate back on. Aside of course, the central banking action, Moody's has reaffirmed that India's outlook is as was on high growth potential, which is probably good news. What is also good news is that crude has come off a little bit, arguably on demand concerns per se, but also because Saudi Arabia has cut the oil prices for Asia and Europe as demand is cooled. So, well, maybe that's a bit of a positive news from an Indian perspective. So that's the long and short of what's happened on terms of news flow. Now, markets. Remember, US markets were shut Monday. Yesterday, they dropped and dropped quite. I mean, they were doing okay, but once the data came out, they came off. So about 0.75% for the Nasdaq. In fact, the Nasdaq at the point of time was down about 1.2% as well. So, in fact, you could argue there's a bit of a recovery that happened as well for the US markets, but largely in the red. And as you will see on the next plate, the 10-year yield on the US, 3.34, it surged. The dollar index at 110.57 has surged, which is why risk assets did what they did. I mean, including cryptocurrency, which has come off. Bitcoin is at 18,759 as we speak. So what's the trade setup therefore for the day looking like? Skittish, if you will. This is the SGX Nifty, of course, indicating a start of about 200 odd points lower. So shouldn't surprise anybody. We are in or around those support level zones of 17,300 to 17,500 zone. If that goes down, then remember the lower supports of 17,100 to 17,373, that zone. So various people cite various things as a support. Let's get the trade set up. I think the start, of course, remember, because we have been in a bit of a congestion zone for the Nifty, rallies are essentially being sold into. The small cap 100 has increased more than twice compared to the Nifty mid cap 100 in 1 week, and therefore that remains in a bit of a danger zone as well. We've had a really good small cap move up till now. Last few days, it's been really performing well. Can it now come off is the question. Well, good. Sugar stocks were have been higher in September. I think thus far, most of them have gained about 5-6% in an otherwise sideways zone. But further gains may not be ruled out as per dealers. A lot of dealers tell me that this is probably just the start. They may be wrong, of course, so keep that in mind. But watch out for sugar and watch out for chemical stocks, because apparently when channel checks that we did yesterday suggest that chemical demand has been extremely weak since the 10th of July. And if that were to continue, you'll probably see the numbers from the spec chem or chemical companies not looking all that great. Keep that at the back of your mind. FIs, of course, bought a little bit in yesterday's session. Let's see if that helps the markets in the session today. What about stocks to monitor in the session today? Some stocks in news. Paras Defense has signed an exclusive, has done an exclusive tie-up or a teaming agreement with Eldis. It's a Czech company, Czech Republic company, to provide turnkey anti-drone systems for civilian airports in India. Well, everything defense seems to be getting orders, doing tie-ups and doing well. And we'll show you about a Morgan Stanley note on defense in a bit. Interglobe Aviation, ex-KLM head Peter Elbers joins as CEO from yesterday. And power stocks, government is apparently given a 2-year extension to power plants on SO2 norms. There's also some other transmission reform being planned as per an ET Now report. Maybe power companies, transmission companies remain in focus. ACC and Ambuja should certainly be in focus. They were key gainers yesterday. The open offer, remember, ends on September 9th, which is day after tomorrow. The open interest increased by 16% and 3% yesterday. Ambuja's traded volume was 2.5 times the weekly average. Delivery percentage is at 49 versus 58. Optically, the delivery percentage will look lower, but if you consider the jump in volumes, then a 48% delivery percentage also is not that bad. The other thing would be to figure out viewers, the arbitrage between ACC and Ambuja, and then the offer to the open offer price, and therefore could ACC now join in the bandwagon that Ambuja has been in, so to say. It's a different kettle of fish. I remember a conversation with Rakesh Arora, ex-Macquarie, currently with Go India Advisors, who had mentioned that, and he's a great mind on cement stocks and metal stocks. And he had mentioned back then, when Ambuja was at 360, that he was surprised that people did not come out and give large upgrades on Ambuja because he believed there'll be substantial gains. They happened, and the stock has gained 20% from those levels. So to say, let's see if there is more in store. A standard disclaimer, of course, they're being acquired by the Adani Group, and Adani Group owns 49% in BQ Prime. Dreamfolk Services, May Asset, India Small Cap Fund bought some shares out there, so watch out for that. In fact, the other one was Hudson Agro. I haven't given the graphics for that, but the promoter sold from Hudson Agro. So it was a large deal yesterday. Everybody thought that one of the investors, Malabar, would have sold, but it was not Malabar. It's actually the promoter, Rajatan Chandramohan, who sold some shares in Hudson Agro. So that could be an interesting one today to monitor. Morgan Stanley note on defense, what should bring that one up? They are overweight HAL and overweight BEL with stiff target prices. They're saying the local defense manufacturing team is as powerful, according to Morgan Stanley, as the PLI incentive scheme, the PLI scheme. And that's a tall statement to make, because they believe, I think that their premise is that you don't have to go out hunting for customers. The customer is right here, which is the government of India. According to them, the existing order books already provide multi-year revenue to earnings visibility. And in that note, viewers, they've mentioned how the current order book visibility that they have is also substantially large over the course of the next 3 to 5 years. So if you read the note, you will find enough reason for why Morgan Stanley is bullish on these defense names. They're saying that they've revised their FY23 to 25 earnings estimates for HAL by 1 to 4%. BL is well, the steeper bump up is 16% uptick in FY22 to 25 earnings estimates. So that's quite strong as well. So do watch out for that. And then BNK has turned positive on select mid-cap IT. You don't quite hear too many people who are bullish on mid-cap IT. But Mastec is a new buy. Persistent is a new buy. Emphasis being cut to hold. So interesting thoughts out there from BNK as well. Am I missing something before we wrap up? Let me just try and see what else is that people are talking about. The Apple new products launch event is today. So do watch out for Reddington. It typically tends to have a interesting move in or around that. So let's wait and watch. And yeah, watch out. Like I said, viewers, watch out for power sector. The stocks are seeing huge volumes and long build up on the derivatives side. So maybe that's a pocket that you got to watch out for as well. Thanks so much for tuning in today, viewers. Have a safe day ahead. And yeah, it's something that somebody alerted on Twitter. That if you are sitting in the backseat of your car, it might not be a bad idea to maybe, just maybe, wear your seat belts. So be mindful of that as well. Thanks so much for tuning in today, viewers. Have a safe day ahead.